What's going on, my central unit? Is the Sentiment here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review, a classic Survivor Series pay-per-view review. This is the first classic WWE pay-per-view review in months. Originally, I was supposed to be reviewing Backlash 2016. I'm supposed to review that show after I recover from wisdom tooth surgery, but I kind of forgot. That was in September time. I haven't reviewed a classic WWE show in September. And again in October. Now we're in November. Actually, we're nearly at the end of November. Survivor Series 23. It's over. It's finished. It's in our review mirrors. But hey, we're still in November. Maybe it's got plenty more time to review some classic Survivor Series show before the month is out. So today, I'm going to review Survivor Series 1998 or Survivor Series Deadly Game 1998. We'll get to that Deadly Games part shortly. So this show was at the Kiel Center. Right now it's called the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri on the 15th of November 1998. This month marks the 25th anniversary of the show. The attendance of the show was 21,179. Survivor Series 98 drew about 400,780. I'm guessing this is the most bought Survivor Series show of all time. The commentators for Survivor Series of 1998 are Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. By the way, this is the first Survivor Series not featured Bret Hart, because at this moment in time, Bret is gone. He left after Survivor Series of 1997, via the Montreal Screwjob. It's funny, like Bret been in every installment of Survivor Series since the first one in 1987, and his last one was in 1997. Almost 10 years. Like I said, he went to WCW after Survivor Series 1997, after the Montreal Screwjob. I reviewed that show last year on this channel. Go and check it out. So, this is the first Survivor Series on pay-per-view without any Survivor Series matches. The next time they do that will be Survivor Series of 2002, when it was at MSG, and that was the debut of the Elimination Chamber match. And this is the show doing a Deadly Games tournament to crown a new WWF champion. So, why they did a Deadly Games tournament to crown a new WWF champion? Let me explain. So it happens at Breakdown in September of that year. It was in a triple threat match. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWF champion at the time, defending the belt against The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction. The stack apart against Austin. Kane and The Undertaker cannot pin each other, so they double pin Austin. So the title was held up. So the following month at the first Judgment Day, Austin was a special guest referee in the Undertaker versus Kane match. If Austin do not call it down the middle to crown a new champion, he will be fired. So Austin did. He basically got fired in kayfabe. And then he got brought back by Shane, restore Austin, sign Austin for a 5-year deal. And this was the start with Shane becoming a character in WWF programming. So as a result, Finn stripped his son Shane of his powers and demoted him as a referee. So as a result, the title was still held up. It's funny, like in September and October time, there is no WWF champion. And by the way, at Survivor Series, they decided to do a Deadly Games tournament to crown a new WWF champion. It's a 14-man tournament. This is the first tournament revolved around the WWF Championship since WrestleMania 4 10 years earlier, back in 1988. That was won by Macho Man Randy Savage. The next time they do this tournament around the WWE Championship will be in 2011, 13 years later. That was after CM Punk left the company, beat John Cena for the WWE title at Money in the Bank 2011. You know, they did a tournament to crown a new champion. That was on Raw. That was won by Rey Mysterio. Next time they do a WWE Championship tournament at Survivor Series will be in 2015. That was won by Roman Reigns. So anyway, and also Vince McMahon made a new public enemy. Oh, by the way, he had made two public enemies. You know, the Undertaker and Kane, or technically the Undertaker, because the build up to I think that's that match at Judgment Day. I think it was Judgment Day. You know, Undertaker broke the leg of Vince McMahon, and also he made another public enemy of The Rock. You know, The Rock basically got not allowed to compete in that Deadly Games tournament. He kind of earned his place in the tournament in the last minute. So I'll get to The Rock, you know, later on in this tournament. You know, yeah. Like I said, let's see a little recap. First Survivor Series without Bret Hart. First Survivor Series without any Survivor Series elimination matches. And a 14-man tournament to crown a new champion on this show. Anyway, so a quick result of the dark matches. The dark matches, you had Too Much, the future Too Cool, Scott Taylor, the future Scotty Too Hearty, and Brian Christopher defeat the Hardy Boys. They will get over in the later years in the Attitude Era. So on Heat, you had the Jump Squad, Too Cool Scorpio and Bob Harley with Al Snow defeat the Legion of Doom. Val Venus defeat Tiger Ali Singh with Babu. And you got Gangrel with Edge and Christian. I think this is the start of the formation of the Brood. Defeat Steve Blackman. So anyway, the first match of the Deadly Games tournament, we got Mankind, and let's talk about Mankind a little bit. So at this moment in time, Mankind is slowly grooming Vince, or Vince grooming Mankind. You know, you had Mankind visiting Vince in the hospital after getting his leg broken by The Undertaker. You know, entertaining Vince with Mr. Socko. So yeah, he was grooming Mankind. You know, he had a haircut. He shaved his beard. And also Vince gave Mankind and crowned Mankind, becoming the inaugural Hardcore Champion. That title will soon become the life of its own in that 24/7 Raw era. That's another topic, another time. I don't want to get in this review. Mankind in the whole show without the beard. This is the one and only pay-per-view seeing Mick Foley without his trademark beard. That's kind of weird. Anyway, so Vince introduced Mankind's mysterious opponent, and he kind of read it via a cue card, like he set more standards in the Federation before going to WCW Wrestling. And that person was Dwayne Gill, the future Gillberg. And I done my research on Dwayne Gill. You know, he was in the WWF back in 1991. He kind of debuted in wrestling in 1990. So he's been in the business for 8 years. Throughout his whole run, he was mostly a jobber. He was a jobber in his first run in the WWF. Then he went to WCW as a jobber, and then he spent a little bit in the Indies before coming back to the Federation once again as a jobber, as Dwayne Gill. He dressed up like what's it called, the Pasadena Chargers. I feel that's college football. I don't think they were part of the NFL. That was just college football. I don't know much about American sport, but anyway, so yeah, Dwayne Gill dressed up wearing the Pasadena Charger T-shirt. The match was just a squash match because Dwayne Gill is a jobber. Anyway, so Mankind just hit Dwayne Gill with a double hook DDT to win and advance into the quarterfinals of the Deadly Games tournament. By the way, Undertaker and Kane got a bye. They face each other in the quarterfinals of the tournament. I'll get to that match later on. So anyway, Mankind advance. Dwayne Gill, I think it's weeks later, defeats Christian for the Light Heavyweight Championship. He became Gillberg. He was part of the Job Squad. And yeah, Gillberg is basically taking shots of WCW's, taking shot at Goldberg. It's funny, like months ago, a couple weeks ago, I reviewed Halloween Havoc 1998. That's known for the horrifying WrestleMania 6 rematch between Hogan and the Warrior, and a really good main event between Goldberg and DDP that was cut live broadcasting. It's funny, like that's the reason why I'm doing this show. Let's let's go to the other side of 1998 wrestling, to the WWF side of that year. So anyway, so let's move on to the next match. So it was just a squash match. It was lasted about 30 seconds. The the other match of the tournament lasts even shorter than the opener. We'll get to that later on. So yeah. So the next match of the Deadly Games tournament, by the way, I'm going to call it the Deadly Games tournament throughout this review. Anyway, so the next match of the tournament, we got Al Snow taking on Jeff Jarrett with Deborah. This is Deborah's first pay-per-view appearance with the company, reunited with Jeff Jarrett, because they were together on screen in WCW the previous year. This was revolved around the storyline between Jeff Jarrett, Deborah, and Steve Mongo McMichael. Because Jarrett was part of the Horsemen. And they were planning for like a payoff of this rivalry, a blow-off of the rivalry between Jeff Jarrett and Mongo, but for whatever reason, Jeff Jarrett returned to the WWF, so it's just what it is. At this moment in time, Deborah divorced with Mongo in real life. They're no longer husband and wife, they got divorced. It's funny, 2 years later, Deborah will soon get married to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they also got divorced 3 years later in 2003. Anyway, so yeah, Jeff Jarrett and Deborah are together once again. The match was okay. Al Snow's gimmick was over at the time with the head gimmick over his hotcakes. Anyway, the match was fun. It was short. Some of these matches are shorter, but I think they made the most of it. I'm not gonna give it 2 stars, or I don't really 2-star rating when am I reviewing pay-per-view reviews in wrestling. Anyway, the match was okay. It was an okay match. They made the most of it. What it is, it's about 3 minutes 31 seconds. In the end, you had Al Snow grab Jarrett's guitar. Snow grab head. Around Head's head. Head is a mannequin head. Got the sock. We'll get to more of that later on. Anyway, so Jarrett hit Al Snow with head without the referee noticing before Al Snow used the guitar. Unfortunately, Al Snow went in the corner, grabbed head again, hit Jarrett with head without, once again, the referee was Tim White, by the way. I think he got distracted by Deborah. Anyway, so Al Snow won this match, beats Jarrett, and advances into the quarterfinals of the Deadly Games tournament. He will face Mankind later on in the show. So yeah, it was an okay match. They made most of what it is. Is it a terrible match? No. Is it like an instant classic? No. It's just an okay match. I'll get to my overall thoughts of Survivor Series 98 later on. So the next match, or the third match of the Deadly Games tournament, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on the Big Boss Man. So this is Boss Man's first WWF pay-per-view appearance for years. I'm guessing since 1993, almost 5 years, because he ended up going to WCW. He was using his gimmick, the boss gimmick. It was basically a spin of the Big Boss Man gimmick he has in the WWF, but unfortunately they kind of changed his gimmick because WWF was threatened to sue WCW with the trademark gimmick. But he became the Guardian Angel, Big Bubba Rogers. He wrestled with his real name, that is Ray Traylor, before coming back to the WWF. This is planning the corporation, He ended up changing his theme music, it's not Hard Times. That was really a catchy theme music of the Big Boss Man in his first run in the company. So yeah, he made his debut. He made his return to the WWF in October. This time he's wearing a black SWAT team uniform. Instead of becoming a police officer, he's now a SWAT team officer. I don't know, but yeah, he's part of he's a SWAT team officer, not like a typical sheriff police officer in his first run of the company. The match was okay. They made the most of what it is. The match ended in disqualification when Bossman hit Austin with his nightstick. He kind of choked Austin after the match ended with the nightstick, clubbing Austin with the nightstick. It's like, he's doing what Vince McMahon's doing, stopping Austin, making sure Austin not able to compete in the tournament. At the time we're still in the middle of the McMahon-Austin rivalry. It's just what it is. So It wasn't bad. I don't think it was a bad match. It was an okay match, for what it is. The main event was for 3 minutes. So let's move on to the next match of the next round of the next first round match of the Deadly Games tournament. So we got Steven Regal, not Lord Steven Regal, just Steven Regal taking on X-Pac, represent D-Generation X. So like Steve Regal debuted in June. This was the start of this was the man's gimmick, not no pun into Becky Lynch's gimmick. It's basically he was wearing he was dressed up like a lumberjack or a builder. He's wearing like the builder helmet, the hard helmet. He wearing the jean shorts, The theme music is "He's a Man." It's just like people don't really talk about his gimmick in 1998. People talk about William Regal or Steven Regal as this posh British gentleman in WCW, and then later on in his second run with the company. He debuted in WWF in June of 1998. So, he spent most of the time in WCW, but he got fired in February of that year. So the reason why he got fired in WCW, so he was in a match on Nitro in February against Bill Goldberg. Unfortunately, he got fired by Bischoff because he didn't make Goldberg look good. He hitting Goldberg with stiff. It was basically was aggressively and stiff against Goldberg, so he got fired from the company. I don't want to get into that. So I thought it was 1997, but it's actually 98. He got fired from WCW. He came back in WCW later on. We'll get to that later on. I'll get on later on after this match. So anyway, X-Pac, entered this match as the European champion, defeat D'Lo Brown for the belt. This is the part when the Deadly Games tournament pick up the second gear. The first 3 matches were okay matches. It was just like it was a slow build of the tournament. But anyway, this match went into its second gear. Anyway, so the match was good. I think they were very good workers. Very underrated workers. Darren Matthews. That's the real name of William Regal, or Steven Regal, and Sean Waltman. They're really underrated workers. It was a good back and forth, technical style match. The match ended in a double count out, Vince ordering Sergeant Slaughter to ask the referee to add 5 more minutes in this match, but unfortunately, both left the ring. So after as for the result, Austin advanced into the semi-finals because both X-Pac and Regal are double eliminated. Vince's reaction, like Austin got the bye. Austin got a bye. That's his reaction because his nemesis is in the semi-finals. He's not have to compete in the quarter-final match. Anyway, this was the I done my research. This was not Regal, X-Pac's last match. Because he picked up a neck injury, but unfortunately that's all bullshit because he wrestled at Capital Carnage, at Rock Bottom, and the Royal Rumble. I think that was due to maybe a kayfabe injury. Kayfabe is still around back then compared right now. I found it on Wikipedia. This is Regal's final match in the company. His first run in the company. It's very forgettable because he was addicted to painkillers. He was sent to rehab in the start of '99, and then in April of the next year he got released. He let go of the company. He came back to WCW in '99. Stayed in the company until 2000. That was his very forgettable run of his second run in the company. His first run in the company was television champion, the Blue Bloods. You get my drift. I think he mentoring Triple H when he was John Paul Levesque or Terror Ryzen. Anyway, so he came back to the WWF in 2000, stayed in the company for the next 20, 21, 22 years, and then he ended up going to AEW for a cup of coffee. Now he's back in WWE. I think instead of an on-screen character, I think he's worked behind the scenes. It's just what it is, so. It was, I considered at the time before, we'll get to the main event. The main event is a bit better, we'll get to the main event later on, but this has got to be the second or third, really the fourth best match of the tournament. It was really good. It was 8 minutes long. They made the most for 8 minutes. It's just what it is. Like I said, very underrated workers are Steven Regal or William Regal and Sean Waltman, the real name of X-Pac or Six Pack or Kid, whatever you call him. So let's move on to the next match of the Deadly Games tournament. So we got the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, taking on Goldust. Goldust, it's funny, like the previous year he ended up stopped becoming Goldust because this was after, Brian Pillman died. He like kicking his wife Terry or Marlena to the curb. So he becoming the artist formerly known as Goldust, teaming up with Luna Vachon. Then he became born again Dustin Runnels. That's his actually real name, Dustin Runnels. So that was around that 1998 period. It's funny, that is kind of a forgettable period of the dark days of Goldust, of Dustin Runnels' career in his first run in the company. Yeah, he was born again Dustin Runnels, and then so at this moment in time, he's coming back as Goldust. This was the end of he ended up feuding with Val Venis now, so he's now Goldust once again. Ken Shamrock entering this tournament as the Intercontinental Champion. He won the title on Raw. I think it was on Raw. This was after Triple H vacated the IC title after winning the belt against The Rock at SummerSlam because he suffered a knee injury. So this is Vince Russo, by the way, because Vince Russo is known for creating tournaments. He did some King of the Ring tournaments. He did the Light Heavyweight Championship tournament, the Intercontinental title tournament, and now this tournament, the Deadly Games tournament, to crown a WWF champion. So anyway, Shamrock won the tournament. Wow, Shamrock is a master of tournaments. So far he just won the 1998 King of the Ring tournament in June of that year. Now he's won the IC title tournament to win his first championship. Actually, this is one and only title he won in his first run in the company, or the only run in the company. Anyway, the match between him and Goldust was good. I think it took up the second gear after the X-Part Regal match. It kind of kicked, and it is a continuation. It kind of continued what Regal and Pac started in the previous match. So the match was good. Like I said, it was shorter matches, but they made the most of what it is. 5 minutes long. I wish I had more minutes, but in the end, Shamrock got the victory. He made Goldust tap out with the ankle lock, and Shamrock advanced into the quarterfinals of the tournament. So moving on to the final first round of the Deadly Games tournament. Deadly Games tournament. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast, by the way. So the final match of the Deadly Games tournament, we got The Rock taking on the Big Boss Man. Originally was supposed to be The Rock versus Triple H, continue off their rivalry in 1998. But unfortunately, Triple H unable to compete in that tournament because he's still recovering from knee injury. So his replacement is the Big Boss Man. Before that, you had the Stooges come out with the DX theme music, doing the circuit. That's kind of funny, Anyway, so the match was shorter than the opener. Dwayne Gill Mankind match lasted about 30 seconds. The Rock vs. Bossman match was 3 seconds. That's got to be the fastest Survivor Series match of all time. The Rock just rolled up Bossman with a small package. The match was over. So Rock advanced into the quarterfinals of the tournament. He will face Ken Shamrock later on. We'll get to that match later on in this review. So, and moving on to the first quarterfinal match of the Deadly Games tournament. The Undertaker with Paul Bearer in his corner. I'll get to that shortly. Taking on Kane. The Brothers of Destruction exploded. So, wow. They kind of dragged the Undertaker-Kane rivalry to the ground. It truly started at Bad Blood in 1997, the previous year. This was during the first ever Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Kane debuted, ripped the cage door, hit Undertaker with a Tombstone Piledriver, cost his brother the match against Shawn Michaels. And it also cost The Undertaker the WWF title against Shawn Michaels months later at the Royal Rumble. The really, like I said, they dragged this rivalry to the ground. They fought at WrestleMania 14. They fought in the first Infernal match at Unforgiven, a couple of Raws. They fought at Breakdown in that triple threat match between themselves and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They fought at Judgment Day. Now they fought in this match at Survivor Series. During that match at Judgment Day, you had Paul Bearer turning on Kane to align himself once again with The Undertaker. Ended their 2-year rivalry. It started at SummerSlam '96, when Paul Bearer turned on The Undertaker to align himself with Mankind. And then in '97, you had Paul Bearer spreading the allegation that The Undertaker killed his parents, and equal Kane, and now 2 years on, they kind of put their difference aside, and this is planting the seeds of the Ministry of Darkness. That'll be the start of the next year. The match was good. It's not on the same level as Undertaker Kane at WrestleMania 14, but it was short for what it is. They made the most for 7 minutes. It was a brawl. It's for the best. Big meaty move. I'm not a big meaty move match. Anyway, in the end, you had Bearer really distracting Kane, and then Undertaker hit Kane with the Tombstone Power Driver. Bearer grabbed Kane by the foot, and Undertaker advanced into the semi-finals of the Dead Against tournament, and will face neither The Rock or Ken Shamrock in the tournament later on in the show. The finish is a bit whatever, it's funny, like Kane kicked out, it took 3 Tombstone Power Drivers to put down Kane at WrestleMania 14. In this match at Survivor Series, 1 Tombstone Power Driver. It's just kind of meh, but I don't really do star ratings. I give it 3 stars. Like I said, they made the most of what it is. I don't really play it okay. They're not okay matches. They are fine matches. They're kind of like good, but they're not designed to be like, oh, this is a must-see matches. 4-star instant classic. No, they made the most of what it is. I can't blame of that. It's a long tournament. Anyway, so moving on to the second match of the second quarterfinal match of the Dead Against tournament. Mankind taking on Al Snow. This is revolving around Mr. Socko. You thought Al Snow is the one who stole Mr. Socko from Mankind, but it's found out it was the Stooges who stole Mr. Socko from Mankind, aka Mick Foley, and framed Al Snow. Anyway, the match was good. I think it was a good match, They made the most of what it is. It was 3 minutes long, I'm not going to crap on it that much, Is it an instant classic? No. Is it a held match? Not really. It's a good match of what it is, It was free. I give it like 3 stars for what it is. In the end, Mankind hit Al Snow with a double hook DDT, followed with putting Mr. Socko onto his hand. Kind of applied the mandible claw onto Al Snow to made him not tap out, so passed out. So Mankind advanced into the semi-final match of the Dead Against tournament. He will face Stone Cold Steve Austin later on the show. And moving on to the final semi-final match of the tournament. There's 3, not semi-finals, quarterfinals, my apologies. So the third quarterfinal match of the Dead Against tournament, because Austin advanced into the semi-finals because the Regal X-Pac match was ended in a double count-out. It's a double bye, both eliminated. So anyway, so the third quarterfinal match, we got The Rock versus Ken Shamrock. Another rivalry of the Rock Shamrock rivalry. It started in 1998. It started technically in 1997. They fought in that Survivor Series match the previous year. It continued their rivalry in the start of 1998. They fought at the Royal Rumble. They fought at WrestleMania 14. They fought at King of the Ring. They fought on Raw weeks prior. This is a qualifying match of the King of the Ring tournament. Not King of the Ring tournament. The Dead Against tournament. My apologies. The Rock, unable to compete. He ended up, qualified to the tournament in the last minute. I think Shamrock turned heel. I think he's kind of like 20 at this moment in time. I'll get to more of that later on. Anyway, the match was good. I think Rock and Ken Shamrock, they had some good chemistry. And also, I forgot to mention, they fought in that triple threat match at Breakdown. It was a steel cage match between The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and Mankind. Forgot to mention that. Anyway, the match was really good. I think The Rock and Ken Shamrock, they had some good chemistry. You had Big Boss Man coming out, for the third time. A lot of Boss Man appearance on this show. It's kind of like he's kind of getting it exposed. He competed in his match against Austin. He competed in the match against The Rock. Now he's trying to interfere in the match against The Rock against Ken Shamrock. In the end, I think Shamrock kicked out of The Rock's people's elbow. In the end, Bossman trying to throw his nightstick towards Shamrock, but The Rock catched it in the last minute. Rock hit Shamrock with the nightstick, throw out of the ring, pins Shamrock. Rock advanced into the semi-finals of the Deadly Games tournament. He would face The Undertaker later on in this show. So yeah, I think a good chemistry match. In the 3 matches I saw, I covered a lot of 1988 shows. Mostly the big 5 shows. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, Survivor Series. It's hard to say. I think this is the 3rd best match of the rivalry. I think the weakest match has to be that match at WrestleMania 14. It was a disqualification. But anyway, let's move on to the next match. The next match, this is a breather, taking a break from the Deadly Games tournament. This is the first of 2 championship matches, or 3 championship matches, via one of them is part of the Deadly Games tournament. This is for the WWF Women's Championship. Jacqueline defending the belt against Sable with Mark Merrow in the corner of Jacqueline. Still in this continuation of the rivalry between the Mark Merrow-Sable rivalry. It started the previous year when Mark Merrow turned heel. He kind of hates Sable because the people like cheering for Sable instead of him. Jacqueline joined into this rivalry, had the arm wrestling contest, a bikini contest, 2 months prior, they had the match on Raw to crown the Revive Women's Championship. That was the first time since Alundra Blaze took the belt with her to WCW and put the the WWF Women's title in the trash. So WWF revived the belt. Jacqueline beat Sable after help by Mark Merrow. Jacqueline became the first African American woman, or the first black women's champion. The next time a black women's wrestler becoming women's champion in the company will be Jazz in 2002. The match was short, but it was good. I think it was a good match, what it is. Like I said, short, but they made the most of what it is, Sable hit Jacqueline with the TKO. Merrow pulled Sable out of the ring. Sable hit Mark Merrow with the Sable Bomb. And then minutes later, in the end, Sable hit Jacqueline with the same move, the Sable Bomb, to win this match and become the women's champion for the first and only time. They kept it short, but they made the most of what it is. I think Sable's very underrated, man. Sable's not known for her wrestling skills. She was very unexperienced when she wrestled. She kind of hang with wrestlers, like women's wrestlers who've been in the business longer than her, like Luna Vachon and Jacqueline. I shock about Jacqueline's age. Right now she's 59 years of age. Back then she was about 35. Sable was only 31. Wow, she's still. Right now she's 56. Wow, I never knew. They kind of like in their 30s back then. It's just wow. But yeah, Jacqueline really helped Sable to do a passable match. And this was really sadly the beginning of the end of the Mark Merrow-Sable rivalry, because Mark Merrow had one more match on Raw in the United States. I think it was against lost to Dwayne Gill. Then the following month at the UK pay-per-view, it's called Capital Carnage. Capital Carnage. It's called, not Capital Combat. That's a WCW show at Capital Carnage in the UK. You had Mark Merrow compete in a mixed tag team match. I think it was Jacqueline and Mark Merrow taking on Sable and Christian, and Mark Merrow, I think he lost to Sable and Christian. And then afterwards, you had Mark Merrow kicking Jacqueline to the curb, and Jacqueline forming the Pretty Mean Sisters with Terry Powers, aka Tori, and Meat, aka Ryan Shamrock as well, the kayfabe sister of Ken Shamrock, and also Meat, that's the future Shawn Stasiak. He stayed in the company until 1999 because Sable left the company because he got sexual harassed. So Mark Merrill defends Sable because at the time they were husband and wife until they got divorced in 2004. Right now, Sable's married to Brock Lesnar. You know, so Mark Merrill defend his wife, and yeah, it's just because they hate each other in kayfabe in storyline, but in real life they are still husband and wife. So Merrill left the company in 1999. It's a shame for Mark Merrill, man. What might have been. I think he was a good worker, good character. It was kind of fun, but at the same time, it's kind of buried him at the same time. It's just like, yeah, Sable, like I said, stayed in the company until 99. She ended up turning heel. The storyline with Terry, Tori. Terry is just Terry, not Terry Reynolds, but Terry Powers. That's the real name of Tori, not Tori Wilson, but Tori, who ended up part of DX. Anyway, it's just what it is. A shame, It's a shame Mark Merrill never came back to the company. I don't think he made an appearance. Even both Mark Merrill and Sable, they truly never made their return to the company. I hope they get. I could see Sable getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. She was. I think she was the first woman to be on Playboy. For the company. It's a shame, but it's just what it is. She was beautiful at the time, but who knows? Things will change. But let's move on to the next match. So this is the first semi-final match of the Deadly Games tournament. Mankind taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. The match was really good. It's physical. Yeah, you got interference by the McMahons and the Stooges. Mankind is about to one more of the match. Mankind is about to leave the ring. Got escorted by Patterson and Briscoe, but yeah. But Austin gave Briscoe and Patterson the double knocky knocker. That was kind of funny. There was a referee bump. The referee was Earl Hebner, I think. Or no, it was Mike Chioda. Yeah, there was a referee bump. And I done my research and I watched, there's rumours that originally it was supposed to be Bossman trying to interfere, but he kind of missed his cue. Out comes Shane McMahon. I think Austin kicked out the double arm DDT. In the end, Austin hit the Stone Cold Stunner onto Mankind. Shane's about to do the 3 count. He's about to do he did the first count and the second count, but he's about to do the 3 count. He stopped, gave Austin the middle finger, and then one of the Stooges, I think it was Patterson, hit Austin on the head with the chair. Mankind pins Austin to win this match and advance into the Deadly Games tournament finals. We'll get to that main event later on. And afterwards, Austin chased the McMahons and the Stooges and Bossman out of the arena. Drive a blue, I don't know what brand of the car is, because Vince, the Stooges, Slaughter, Bossman, they kind of escaped with a limo. They got in the limo. Austin drive like this blue car. And it's not the last time we'll see the McMahons and the Stooges on the show. We'll get to the main event later on. So yeah, it was a good match. They were fighting outside. They're fighting it was kind of like a brawl in the first minutes of the match, but it was. This is the first ever match they ever fought. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mankind. Like they were tag teams. They never acknowledged they were tag teams. They were tag teams the previous year. They were tag team champions. Because Mick Foley was Dude Love, but they never brought it up. And also it's funny. Actually, I was wrong. I'm lying. They fought like early in the year when Mick Foley became Dude Love. That was at Unforgiven and Over the Edge. And then they kind of Mick Foley took a break off the Dude Love character. And he ended up going back as Mankind. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, it's not the first match. It's the first match in months since Austin feud with Dude Love. When this was the early months when Austin was the WWF champion. His first rivalry as WWF champion was Mick Foley, aka Dude Love. So moving on to the second match of the semi-finals of the Deadly Games tournament. The Rock taking on The Undertaker with Paul Bearer in his corner. This match was good. Like the previous semi-final match, it was a brawl. I think one more of the match, The Rock marked The Undertaker's get up taunt. The match ended in disqualification. because the Austin Mankind match was a bit over. It was overbooked with the interference by Vince McMahon and the Stooges. It's a way to get to screw Austin, even to have screwed Austin to get to becoming WWF champion for the third time. Anyways, the match ended disqualification when Kane chokeslammed The Rock and screwed The Undertaker out of becoming the WWE champion. He became WWE champion the following year in 1999 during his rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was helped by Shane McMahon. Anyway, so yeah, it's just I think it's a continuation of the Undertaker Kane rivalry, even though they're not really feuding up. They won't have another match again on pay-per-view until SummerSlam of 2000. That's another story, another time. I might do like an audio version of the review of the show because I review it on StreamYard. You know, I don't want to talk about it, but let's move on to the next match, and this is another break from the Deadly Games tournament. And this is a triple threat match for the WWF, or a triple threat tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. The New Age Outlaws, Badass Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg Jesse James defending the belts against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry, former members of the Nation of Domination, and the Headbangers, Marsh and Thrasher. They won the belts at SummerSlam against, it was technically a handicap match, Outlaws versus Mick Foley. It was supposed to be, or Mankind, you know, because it was supposed to be Kane, but Kane turned on Mankind. Anyway, this match sucks, you know. This is the worst match of the night. It was boring. It was 10 minutes long. There's no chemistry or three tag teams. I think D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, and the Headbangers are healed. The Outlaws are baby faces. I'm trying to keep it short and simple, folks. In the end, Billy Gunn hit, I think it was Marshall Thrasher with the power driver to get the victory. Anyway, I think like the Headbangers, like in the start of the next year, I think it's late 98, early 99. You know, Headbangers ended up like breaking up. You know, and you know, I think it's Marshall Thrasher. You know, one of them doing the whole beaver cleavage gimmick. You know, that was completely stupid. And then doing this, one of them had this storyline beating up like one of the girlfriends that is just like very tacky, you know. It's just like I don't want to get into that. It's very, very forgivable, you know. Don't understand why they broke up the Headbangers, man. I'm gonna say very underrated. It's very underrated tag team at the time. You know, they won the tag team belts the previous year in 1997. You know, it's a shame they never won more tag team titles in their careers. You know, in WWF. You know, right now it's WWE. It's just what it is. You know. You know, they won tag team titles in the Indies, but Thrasher became hardcore champion. That was like 98, 2000 time. That was during the 24/7 Raw era. But you know, as a tag team in the company, yeah, one tag team title in their run. You know, wish they won more. It's just what it is, man. So moving on to the main event, the finals of the Deadly Games tournament to crown the WWF champion. The Rock taking on Mankind. This is match of the night, man, and this is a physical match of the show. It's physical. I'm not saying they're bleeding. It was more physical. You know, Foley took mostly the bumps. You know, like, and the Rock took most of the physical bumps. You know, I think one more of the match. You know, like Mankind hits Rock with a suplex onto the hardcore, like the concrete floor, because there's no padding or the mat. It was just like concrete floor. He hit Rock with a leg drop onto the announce table. You know, that was, you know, he took some physical bumps to Rock. You know, and also there's one more of the match. You know, Mankind grabbed the steel steps. The Rock grabbed the chair. And Rock hit Mankind with the chair while he's holding the steel steps, and then the steel steps kind of landed on his face, and he hit again onto the steel steps with the chair. He took really physical bumps, man. Anyway, I think the Mankind kicked out. I think he kicked out of the Rock bottom. I think, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think he did. And then Rock locked in the Mandible Claw. Mankind locked the Rock. Yeah, Mankind locked the Rock with a memorable claw, but Rock, I think he counted into the Rock bottom. I think the Rock, Rock didn't count the double on DDT. Yeah, the double, the double, I call it the double on DDT or the double hot DDT, whatever you call it. So anyway, and then Mankind tried to lock the submission hold onto the Rock. Anyway, out comes Vince and Shane. I've got to mention, this is Shane's first pay-per-view appearance as an on-screen character. He's been in the company before. He's been in the company since 1988, but he was like a referee, and then he went behind the scenes, and now he's back as an on-screen character. It's very like the following year he introduced Stephanie as an on-screen character, and then Linda. I don't want to get into it. It's trying to keep it short and simple. The facts. Knowing that Vince was an on-screen character. He was an on-screen character before as a commentator, then a ring interviewer, but as an authority figure in 97, and then 98 Shane, 99 Stephanie, and then 2000 Linda. We haven't seen Linda appearing on WWE programming ever since. It's just mostly just Vince, Shane, and Stephanie for the next 20 plus years. Anyway, so in the end, The Rock locking the sharpshooter onto Mankind. Vince called the referee, or really asked the ring announcer, or I think he asked the referee to ring the fucking bell. And guess what, folks? They reenact the Montreal Screwjob, because I get it, it's 1 year since the Montreal Screwjob, but comparing Rock and Mankind to Brian Shawn's Montreal Screwjob, that was an actual screwjob. That was shoots, because there's rumors like Brett was threatened to take the WWF title to WCW. Bischoff don't want Brett to take the belt to WCW because they're gonna wind up getting sued by WWF. So it's a way to take the belt off of Brett. But this is just like reenactment. This is the first minute. This is many times then WWE really bashing the fans with the heads with the Montreal Screwjob. They've been doing it ever since. They did it with Undertaker, CM Punk, Breaking Point 2009. Recently in 2016, they did it with Charlotte Flair versus Natalia. It's just like, it's very old. They just cannot capture what the first one in 97. I wish they find a way to screw Mankind anyway, because I think it's for the best, because the Rock's sharpshooter looks absolute shit. So anyway, Rock won this match, won the Deadly Games tournament, and become the World Wrestling Federation champion for the first time in his career. I'll get to more of that later on, or shortly actually. So it was really physical. Mankind was shocked and confused. Vince on the mic, seeing is believing. Vince McMahon did not screw the people. The people screwed the people. He brags about we screwed Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock called the fans like trailer park trash. You can smell the Rock's cooking. Mankind grabbed the mic, says he didn't got pin or submit. Then the Rock attacked Mankind with the belt, hit him with the Rock bottom. Vince struggling to put the belt around the Rock's waist, but he kind of put the belt around his shoulder, and then suddenly Austin came out. I think he hit The Rock with the Stone Cold Stunner, hit Mankind with the Stone Cold Stunner, and the show went off the air. So we'll get to more of that shortly. So I think The Rock winning the belt and turning heel was the right call, because it's funny, 1996, that was The Rock's first appearance on WWF programming. Well, he debuted at the 1996 Survivor Series at MSG. He was a sole survivor of that Survivor Series match of that year, and then afterwards, they're trying to push this Rocky Maivia, using his dad's first name and his granddad's last name. Unfortunately, it did not work. It worked short term, but for the long term, it did not work. The shove Rocky Maivia down people's throats. A lot of die Rocky die chants, Rocky suck chants. That you thought that was the end of the Rock, but wasn't. I think Rock getting hurt was the blessing in disguise. He ended up becoming part of the Nation of Domination. He became the Rock, Rocky Maivia, and then he ditched the Rocky Maivia name, just became The Rock, and that lasted until the eternity. And then fast forward in 1998, he became the company's next rising star, and they did. He became the next rising star. They put the belt on, the breakout star that is The Rock. It's funny, like Mick Foley, Austin, and Rock. They've been in the company since 1996, 2 years. And they really slowly build on those guys, Stone Cold, Rock, and Mankind. I consider them the big three, because they've been there since 1996. They won't win their titles, first world titles, until the late 90s. They really slowly build on those guys. I think, there's Mankind won't win his first world title until the first Raw of 1999, but they still see something with Mankind. Or get to, I will review that Raw of 1999. That'll be at the start of next year in 2024. But I think Rock winning the belt was good. I think Rock. It's funny, Rock entered this show as the babyface. Because storyline, the Vince don't like the people. He hates the Rock. He hates the Rock as well. I think the teasing they're pulling the belt on Mankind. Because Vince is grooming Mankind to be the next top guy. Unfortunately, they screw Mankind in this time and see the Rock. He's going to be the next top guy, and they did. I think it's clever, but doing this screw job thing, it was stupid. Like I said, I prefer the Rock and Hogan match from 2003 at No Way Out. That was way better because of the stuff with Sylvain Grenier. But doing this Montreal screw job thing was a bit tacky, and also Austin coming out, giving Rock and Mankind stunners. It's a way to get the fans go home happy. But it took away the cliffhanger moment, of Survivor Series. I wish they'd just done it after the cameras went off air, and then Austin come out hitting, probably The Rock and Mankind with stunners. I don't think in Brian Zane's review of the show, he said Vince got hit with the stunner, but unfortunately, I watched this on network. He didn't got hit by the stun. It'd be cool to hit. It'd be really cool if Shane, Vince, Rock, Mankind got hit by the Stone Cold Stunner, but it's just what it's just what it is. But it's just, it's just I don't know why they did that, but The Rock, as the corporate champion, the next night, Vince formed the corporation, Bossman's in that group, Shamrock ended up being part of that group, that was good at the time, very underrated group all the time, The Rock became the corporate champion, he ended up becoming once an entertaining heel. I think Rock as an entertaining heel was entertaining. Maybe he's not ready as the babyface yet. He turned babyface proper in 1999 after the end of his feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin at Backlash 99. It's just what it is. I think it's the next night on Raw. Or later on. The Rock and Stone Cold had that match on Raw. That was for the title, but it was ending disqualification when Undertaker hit Austin in the head with the shovel. That's just set up their Buried Alive match at Rock Bottom the following month. Rock and Mankind continued their rivalry throughout late 98 and the early parts of 1999. They fought at Rock Bottom. You thought Mankind won the belt. Unfortunately, Vince overturned the decision because Rock didn't got pin or submit. Then they fought at the first Raw of 99 that Austin helped Mankind to win the title. Then they fought at the I Quit match at the Royal Rumble. Then they fought at the Empty Arena match at Halftime Heat. And they fought in that Last Man Standing match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And also they end up becoming the tag team later on of that year. They formed the Rock and Sock Connection, won the tag team titles, I think it was 3 times. They did that Raw when Mankind did This Is a Live segment with The Rock, they ended up, The Rock and Mankind rivalry, they ended up becoming a good rivalry, and soon to become a good tag team, So anyway, my final overall rating of Survivor Series 1998, or Survivor Series Deadly Games 1998, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. This is a really good show. This is the best show of the Attitude Era. I think this has got to be in the top 5 best Survivor Series show of all time. Number 1 has to be Survivor Series '02 because of it was at MSG and also the debut of the Elimination Chamber match. But Survivor Series '98 is in that top 3, top 4, top 5, or it's debatable to say top 2, but it's in that top 5. You know, I think the Deadly Games tournament I think it lit up the hype. They were enjoyable matches. I can't find anything in the okay. The only thing in the bad has to be the triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. That was the worst match of the night. But besides that, you know, there were good to great matches on the show. Really, it's like the highlight has to be The Rock turning heel, turning on the people, become the corporate champion. You know, that was good. And also, the one thing I'll also point in the bad has to be the reenactment of the Montreal Screwjob, because I get it, it's 1 year after the Bret and Shawn Montreal Screwjob at Montreal. But it's just, yeah, it's a way to screw Mankind. It's just establish The Rock as the top heel of the company. But yeah, I enjoy watching Survivor Series '98. It was a good decision to review this show because, like I said, this month marks the 25th anniversary of the show. I think it did live up the hype. It's just it just really set up the not just the next matches at the next month's pay-per-view. It's just set up Rock and Austin for WrestleMania 15 next year. So anyway, what is your thoughts on Survivor Series 1998? Hope you enjoyed my review of Survivor Series 1998. So leave your thoughts on the comment section below of the show. Smash like button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, I'm going to review one more classic Survivor Series show before the month is out. Let's go 5 years into the future, going into the Ruthless Aggression era. It's been a long time since I reviewed a Ruthless Aggression era show. The one show I'm going to review next time is Survivor Series 2003. We got a Buried Alive match, an ambulance match, 2 Survivor Series matches, 1 revolve around Austin and Bischoff, and also you got Goldberg versus Triple H. That's until next time. Until then, this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, guys, and that's my review.